Welcome to Texarkana. War, oh war, are you tonight? Why did you leave me here all alone? I searched the world over and thought I found true love. You made another and you was gone. Hee-haw. That's what I think of when I think of Texarkana. So there are actually two Texarkanas. I did not know this. I thought there was just the one Texarkana. It's not. There are actually two. Now, when I think of Texarkana, I actually think of Texas Texarkana. Actually, there's Texas Texarkana, and then there's Texarkana, Arkansas. I'm in the Arkansas city, Texarkana, and they're right next to one another. Now, see, when I figured out that there were two, I mistakenly thought that Texas had claimed part of the city and Arkansas had claimed part of the city. No, that's not what happened. What happened was that there were two cities here, and at the time, Texarkana, the city that would become Texarkana, Arkansas, was a railroad hub. And the city that became Texarkana, Texas, essentially was jealous of the fact that there was a major railroad hub here. Lo and behold, they both named themselves, say it with me, Texarkana. So that's how we ended up with Texarkana, Texas, and Texarkana, Arkansas. Texarkana, Arkansas was here first. So you're going to wonder, well, where's the state line? Well, actually, truth be told, the state line is about a 5-minute walk that way. Actually, that way. So I'm going to go do the thing. It's childish, I know, but I'm going to go do it anyways. Texas, Arkansas, Texas, Arkansas, Texas, Arkansas. It's stupid, but I'm going to go do it anyways because I think it's cool. All right. So my day is pretty much going to consist of, you know the drill at this point, Starbucks, eat, drive, sleep. That's it. It does not get any more complex. However, tomorrow I will be in Rockwall, Texas in doing that. And I will show you all about Rockwall, Texas tomorrow. Way cool. I think that's enough of an update. However, if something cool happens, and I will drop in the road play at this point, because I think it's kind of cool. So I'm going to drop it in right here. So I'm right in the middle. I'm right on the state line. And look, there's the Walmart I stayed at last night. I'm right on the state line. This is, that's Arkansas. That's Texas. Right on the state line. Gotta love this. Yeah, I know, it's childish and silly, but I really enjoy doing the state line hop thing. All right. If anything else happens today, I will drop it in right here. If not, well then, there you go. And I will pick you folks up in Rockwall, Texas. Welcome to Rockwall, Texas, and a Walmart. Walmart 268. And that lovely sound you hear is the highway. That was loads of fun last night. Although, truth be told, the fans did actually blot out most of that. I didn't hear it, and it really didn't become an issue until about 20 minutes ago. So when I started thinking, yeah, I got to record some stuff for today. So now it's an issue, and you can clearly hear it. Yeah, not so much with that idea. However, that is not the problem that is plaguing me today. Two problems are plaguing me today. The first is a thing that I can sort of think about later, but it also it is going to change my plans. And it's the AC problem. After midnight in the van it's just sweltering hot in there. And it doesn't dissipate the heat, even though when I'm driving, it should clear out the heat in the van, and there should be clean air in the van, and it just gets sweltering hot in there. And the insulation that I put in there, who knew? I did. But I know that insulation, I will be very thankful for that insulation in about 4 months. Insulation, good. However, right now it's causing me to be, I need an AC unit back there. So somebody suggested, gosh, Miles, why not just, ask your patrons for it? Yeah, I'd love to do that, except you folks are not a bottomless pit of money. So, yeah, not so much with that idea. I got to figure out another option. Now, mind you, My current solution is Starbucks during the day, drive at night, and that obviates the need for an AC unit. Except when I have to sleep in the van, and then it gets insanely uncomfortable back there after about 20 minutes, and yeah, not so much with that idea. So I got to figure out another solution. Which leads me to my next problem. This. Dot. You know what that is? That's my 12-volt refrigerator. So last night I'm driving down the road, and I had bought some cold cuts last night for the trip because I just don't feel it's too hot to cook. It's like 90 degrees out here. That is so not going to happen. So I bought ham and some cheese and some mustard and pulled over. And when I pulled over, I realized that the refrigerator wasn't running. What the is going on? And I saw that the light was on. I pulled this line, which is the red line is the power line. The black line is the ground line. So that you're seeing this and you don't go, well, there's your problem right there. No. That originally had a connector on it. And I realized that the connector was frayed, so I cut the connector. That ain't the problem. So I figured, well, my next step is probably to pull the lines and replace the lines. So that should not solve the problem. I think something else has been tripping it. So I figured, just on a whim, it's probably the refrigerator itself. So I plugged it into the cigarette lighter, and thing runs just fine. So something else is tripping it, and I don't know what. There's my problem. What do you see right there? That is a blown fuse. So somehow or another, I blew the fuse. The unit was drawing way too much power, so it blew the fuse. So now I figured that out because the reason why there are two of those is because one was in there, and I took that one out and figured out, wait, the fuse is blown, just on a whim. So I put another one in, and that one immediately blew. So yeah, something else is going on over there. That's drawing way more power than it needs to. That's wonky. But there's my solution. Problem one solved today. Yay! I saved my food. Welcome to Home Depot. So if you're wondering why I'm at Home Depot, I had a tiny little accident in the van. Not a van accident, an accident in the van. So some chemicals I was carrying had basically spilled and ruined some boxes. So now I need to go get some storage boxes. Home Depot. This might be doable. Something very similar to that. I'll let you know. So this is the Historical Society for the Rockwall, or for Rockwall, Texas. Right here, see, where it says museum. Let's go take a look at something very quickly, because it's insanely hot out here. So you see that thing in the distance right there? Apparently one of these two buildings is the Historical Society. I don't know which is which, but we don't really care about that. What we care about is this guy. This is a reconstruction of the wall. And what makes this interesting is that these pieces have not been cut at all. They were re-put together with mortar, but at one time. But these are the original wall pieces. So the story goes that in the 1850s, someone was digging a well and they came across these guys. And that seemed kind of odd place to put, basically a rock like that. And they kept digging and digging, and it just kept going down and down and down and down, almost 40 or 50 feet. And then they kept digging out, and it just kept stretching for as far as they could dig. That was pretty far. And over the years, multiple people have essentially excavated the wall. Back in 2013, Scott Walter, when he was shooting America Unearthed, came here and then and then went out to an actual dig site where they'd come across another piece of the wall, and they had excavated this massive portion of it and then dug down into it to see how far it went, how deep it went, And more important than that, how old it was. So he tested the age of the rock and determined that it was naturally forming. Of course, that wall is naturally forming. What he couldn't test for, and the thing that makes this even more interesting, what he couldn't test for was any level of machinations. There's no way to test that, none whatsoever. You actually have to look at the rock to see whether or not it's been machined in any way, shape, or form, or it's been constructed in any way, shape, or form. Here's a theory. It's a crazy idea. And this isn't, batshit craziness. This is, one side of the argument. I believe that these walls were machined. Not 10,000 years ago, not 20,000 years ago, not 100,000 years ago. We're talking about over 500,000 years. The question is who machined them? You see, at one point in time, this was an inland sea. The only way that you can get rid of the machinations on those rocks is if they've been sitting underwater for a long time. And the whole reason why they were buried in the first place is because of sediment buildup. So if you remove the sediment, if you remove the water, what happens to those rocks? I'll tell you what happens to them. Somebody machined those rocks. It's a crazy idea, I know. That's why I brought you here. Now, I can go into the society. They're only open from Tuesday to Fridays, and I need to get back on the road. Well, this has been fun. I gotta go. Burn. But look what's on the other side of this bridge. Wow. You just don't expect to see that all that often. You really don't. Welcome to Glen Rose. I feel so welcome now. Right there. It says, welcome to Glen Rose. Don't you feel welcome now? Right. We're here. Where's here? Dinosaur Valley State Park. Why am I at Dinosaur Valley State Park? Don't I usually start these things at a Walmart or something? Well, yeah, usually I do. And truth be told, I did actually spend the night at a Walmart, the Cleburne Walmart. I think that's store 224, if I'm not mistaken. I'll correct it in the edit if not. Anyways, I am currently about 2 miles west of Glen Rose, Texas. So the sign should say Glen Rose, Texas. So what are we doing at Dinosaur Valley State Park? Oh, before I get there, I did actually spend a lovely evening at the Walmart parking lot. When I drove in at about 1 a.m. this morning, there were 3 semis in the parking lot, and I knew from looking at allstays.com that it was perfectly fine and the manager was okay with it, so I didn't actually have to call ahead, and yada, yada, yada. I hate calling ahead. It's like, can I stay in your parking lot? I just stealth parked and parked at the outer edge of the parking lot, and it was fine. No knocks, no nothing. It was quiet. No security. It was perfectly fine. I have not had a knock yet in the 3.5 months that I've been on the road yet. And why am I here? That's the existential question of my life. Why am I here now? Why am I here at Dinosaur Valley State Park? Well, Dinosaur Valley State Park was created in 1968 and then opened to the public in 1972. To make a very long story short, there's controversy around this place. This is very close to the Paluxy River, which is where the dinosaur tracks are. Back in the 30s, the controversy goes that some folks were feeling a little, shall we say, greedy, that's a good word for it, and started carving their own dinosaur tracks, and they carved a few human tracks to go along with, right next to the dinosaur tracks. And that caused a bit of consternation, so much so that some folks thought that dinosaurs and humans walked at the same time or lived at the same time, which the creationists had a field day with, and still do. As a matter of fact, there's a museum down the road a piece that is dedicated to that entire purpose, to prove that dinosaurs and humans walked together at the same time, and that's just not possible. There are actual metatarsal tracks that resemble human pad, very close to a dinosaur track or sauropod's track, and those are metatarsal tracks. They're not human feet. It's not possible for a whole bunch of different reasons. Anyways, that said, I'm not here for the controversy, although it's a really good place to explain the controversy. And there's a whole other video by this other guy that I think is fabulous. It explores the possibilities of that and completely debunks it, and I'll link that down below. But I, on the other hand, I wanted to see dinosaur tracks. I wanted to see them, so I'm going to take you on a tiny little tour of what I find and show you some dinosaur tracks. That's it. That's all. Oh, right. Before I do, however, so for weeks I have been essentially living in a very tiny space, and it doesn't necessarily work for me. Until yesterday, I went shopping and got some storage and put all of my stuff that has been sitting on the floor and in bags in these two cases right here. One there and one right behind those two water bottles. That is basically what I ended up buying yesterday. I had no idea. Oh my God. I actually have more space than I thought I did. Yet I still have to put this on the roof. I have not put this on the roof yet. And the reason I haven't put it on the roof yet is because the part that I want is back ordered and won't be available for another 6 to 8 weeks. Anyways, now I have flies in my van. Oh my God. Oh. Let's go look at some dinosaur tracks, shall we? Back in the 20s and 30s, Prohibition was in full swing. Moonshine, as it's called, was big business, especially in Glen Rose. And it earned the nickname, the Moonshine Capital of Texas. Business was good, and most of these hills around here were used as locations for stills. The main ingredient in moonshine is water, and the Paluxy River is, well, water. Do the math. So it's an obvious, logical place for moonshine. Cool. We're on the path. This is the ballroom track site. That's the Blue Hole track site. This is the ballroom track site. With children. Apparently, I taste really, really good. The minnows think so. Look at this. The minnows are swarming my feet. When I was in Buenos Aires, there used to be this, and it probably still is, there used to be these minnow massage shops, and you pay like 25 pesos for this, and I'm getting it for free. Look at this. The minnows are just eating my feet. It doesn't hurt. It tickles a little bit, but they are just loving my feet. Look at that. I clearly am tasty. Tastiness. Let's go find some sauropods. Ooh. So any depressions you see are footprints of sauropods. There's one right there. There's one right there. There's another one right there. There's one right there. There's one right there. Ooh, there's another one right there. Clearly, you can see these. There's another one right there. There's a huge one right there. There's one right there. There's a couple right there. Ooh, nice and big ones. Ooh, wow, look at that. Huge, monstrous one. Holy Jesus. Oh my God. Holy God, look at the size of those things. So this is why we're here, kiddies. This right here. This is it. Oh my God, there's a huge one right there. And this one right there. And this one right there. There, 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 there. I see now why it's called the ballroom. Because it looks like a dance. There's so many of them. Every depression that you see. Every depression is a dinosaur track. I'm walking with dinosaurs. 150 million years apart, but still walking with dinosaurs. Right here. Let's see if we can get this. Wow. Oh my God, there's so many more. Look at them all. Look at them all. Look at the size of these things. Oh my God. Yes, try not to fall in the water, Mr. Miles. That would be bad. Look at the size of that thing. Wow. Just wow. Looky, kiddies. The Paluxy River. And as you can tell, there's plenty of dinosaur tracks here in the Paluxy River. So most of the tracks at this point are pretty much in the river, so we've seen what we needed to see. I think this is a good place to end the episode. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate your time, your patience, and your patronage. Do me a kind courtesy and hit that like button. If you like this stuff, please hit the like button. And right next to that is the subscribe button. And right next to that is the notifications bell to be notified every single time I upload new content. And there's more new content coming. Good Lord, it is hot out here. Which reminds me, this is also user-supported content, which is a quaint way of saying Mr. Miles needs cash now. $3, $5, $7, whatever you can afford. Find the Patreon link down below and subscribe. That helps me out with putting gas in the tank and food in the stomach so I can continue to show you places just like this, traveling around the country, because YouTube is not paying me a dime for this stuff. So $3, $5, $7, whatever you can afford, trust me, it helps me out with the travels. All right, thanks a bunch for watching, and I look forward to seeing you somewhere along the road. Bye.